The fuck would be crazy? What the hell? Whatever.
In the late 90s and into the early 2000s, it seemed like Walt Disney Animation could do no wrong. As long as you got them to be associated with your project, you'd most likely make a profit. Right off the back of Tarzan, Lilo and Stitch, and Emperor's New Groove, everything was great for Disney Animation. Until 2002, when Treasure Planet came out. Although it had good reception, it bombed at the box office. And so after that, we never heard of the film from Disney again. But behind the scenes, a crew had been working on a sequel to the film for almost a year. Today, we take a look back behind the scenes and see the story and troubles of the cancelled film, Treasure Planet 2. While Treasure Planet was being animated and finished, the writing team of the first film was working hard on the sequel's screenplay. Eventually it was finished, but keep this in mind, even though it was finished, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't have eventually gone through a bunch of rewrites. Very rarely does the original version of the script make it till the end of the film. If Treasure Planet 2 was eventually made, it's very possible the story we have could be very different. Now, before we get into the story of the sequel, let me quickly go over the story of the first, since you probably don't remember every character in detail, and you're gonna confident you can skip to this timestamp right here. So, say hello to 15-year-old Jim Hawkins. He dreams of one day being a pirate who may find a happy ending after the escape from Treasure Planet. So, of course I left some things out for time, but that's basically what you need about the first Treasure Planet. To properly explain Treasure Planet 2, I'm going to use a long quote from John Falkenstein, who has been an animation director, writer, and storyboard artist for Disney for a long time. She was one of the individuals who was working behind the scenes on Treasure Planet 2. In fact, she was the director. Since the script has not been released to the public, she commented on the film and what the story would have been. So without further ado, let me tell you the story of Treasure Planet 2. Oh shit, that rhymed. The sequel was to pick up where the first film left off, with Jim Hawkins going to the Royal Interstellar Academy. At the academy, he is the hotshot natural, but he doesn't exactly follow the rules very well. Hence, he gets off to a shaky start, especially with his classmate Kate, who is very smart and has a type A personality. Jim and Kate tie for top of the class, but for very different skills. Captain Amelia is dean of the academy, which has a brand new vessel, the Centurion. The Centurion is the fastest ship in the galaxy, and Ben is his pilot. But just as everything seems to be going well for everybody, we realize that the pirate, Captain Ironbeard, is there to steal the Centurion.
Oh my god.
Well for everybody, we realize that the pirate, Captain Ironbeard, is there to steal the Centurion.
Oh my god. This guy voiced by William Dafoe? Are you kidding me right now? This dude voiced by William Dafoe. Sheesh.
This ruthless villain is
Brother! That's crazy.
Almost nothing of him is
insanity.
He leads a group of pirates to hijack the Centurion while Jim and Kate are aboard.
That's like such good contrast too.
Centurion. This ruthless villain is relatively all iron. Almost nothing of him is human anymore. He leads
going from whatever his name is, the one fat pirate guy with the arms and shit. Going from him to like a fully mechanical person, like, because the whole shtick on the prosthetic guy, like the other video has said, is he has given his limbs for this idea of a treasure planet, you know, of like fortune, you know. He has given his like literal limbs for this idea. And then this guy is pretty much following the same idea, not really treasure planet, but like an idea of fortune, you know. And he's gone even further and given like his entire body, you know.
Leads a group of pirates to hijack the Centurion while Jim and Kate are aboard. The Navy can't catch the Centurion due to its vessel's speed and armor, and thus Ironbeard gets away. Luckily though, Jim and Kate escape the Centurion. Jim decides that he needs a pirate ship and other pirates to help him catch Ironbeard. He goes out and he finds his long old buddy, John Silver, in the Lagoon Nebula. Once they tell Silver about the situation, he agrees to help them. Jim and Kate then receive a tracking signal from Ben, who is currently a hostage aboard the Centurion. Once they receive that, they follow Ironbeard's vessel with John Silver. They discover the Centurion dock near the Botany Bay prison asteroid. Once they catch up, Jim, Kate, and John Silver sneak aboard the Centurion, where Silver reveals to Jim that he wants to take the Centurion for himself. With his new plan, he asks Jim to join him. Kate overhears this and is horrified, especially since the two have, of course, started to fall for each other during this adventure. But just as this is all happening, Ironbeard discovers our three heroes. Eventually, John Silver, Kate, and Jim are able to get away, but John Silver is injured in the process, and they shoot down John Silver's ship. Once the ship is gone, they plummet below, crash landing. Kate is angry at Jim and storms off. Jim is about to blow her off as well when Silver tells him to give her a chance. He reveals a part of his past through a flashback, when a young Silver screwed up a relationship with the love of his life, a decision which directly led him to a life of piracy. After this, Jim begins to think differently, and Silver reveals that he has very dangerous cargo with him that he's been trying to smuggle and sell for a fortune, which has the power of a neutron bomb. Jim, Kate, and Silver reconcile and work together to fix Silver's ship and prevent the Centurion, filled with the most evil pirates in the galaxy, from going on an insane robbing and killing spree. At the last second, Silver reluctantly gives up his retirement fund, which is the neutron bomb, in order to destroy the Centurion with Ironbeard and all of the pirates on board. After their victory, Silver again parts from Jim and Kate, telling them to take care of each other. A few years later, Jim and Kate graduate with honors, while a proud Silver secretly watches from the shadows, smiling. And that's the story of Treasure Planet.
Further instilling the redhead the redhead likeness in young men's minds, dude. Just like cartoons did, just like Danny Phantom did, and Total Drama Island did with goth girls, you know? They were trying to instill redhead propaganda in our head.
Too. It seems as if they were definitely trying to leave the film open for another sequel, hopeful for a trilogy. Of course, we know that this would never happen. Even though we've gone over the story, there's still more to know though. Let's quickly go over some of the cast and crew, and then we'll get into why and how this movie was cancelled. All of the cast of the first film was set to return. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emma Thompson, etc. Right off the back of Spider-Man, Willem Dafoe was supposed to come in to voice Ironbeard, but
oh god, just like, dude, some sins cannot be forgiven, and Disney, if you could forget the Jews, you know, the Jew thing, you know, like the what do you want to call it, the bigotry towards Jews, if you can forgive that, that's on you. Not really my cup of tea, you know. Lots of people do. Lots of people will stand Disney even after hearing about the bigotry towards Jews. Not me though. That's just my side, you know. I will not forgive. I will also not forgive the fucking cancellation of William Dafoe as whatever his name is, the crazy looking dude. That would be crazy, like a Victorian era space pirate, like crazy.
Been decided. John Musker and Ron Clements, the two directors of the first film, were not coming back, but they still helped with some of the production.
They're pretty neck and neck.
On the sequel, Disney had high hopes for the first Treasure Planet. In fact, they were so confident that it would perform well, they had a Treasure Planet TV show ready. Thomas Schumacher, the past president of Walt Disney Animation, stated that there's also a notion of what a series could be. I have all the pieces in place, and should we decide to push the button, we push the button and go with it. Disney Animation was waiting to see the reception to Treasure Planet, and if it was received well, they would immediately begin work on the TV show.
God, they were hoping.
Also continuing work on the sequel. Now, of course, we know.
How would the sequel? There's no way that a TV show and a sequel would work. If they would have to like either make a new or protagonist, or follow a already existing character. Like maybe the TV show could have been like following the one fat guy, whatever his name is, you know, following his story while, whatever, like while he's like away. That would have been cool. Because like if the second movie is based immediately after the first movie, then it wouldn't work,
So just like the trilogy, the TV show would never happen. And speaking of which, let's get into the day of the film's cancellation and what happened to the crew and the movie as a whole.
God.
During Thanksgiving of 2002, Treasure Planet came out to families everywhere, and it bombed. On a budget of $140 million, the film only made $17 million on its first weekend. As the crew behind Treasure Planet 2 watched the numbers come in, they realized their works on the sequel would come to an end. The Monday afterward, director John Falkenstein and voice director Jamie Tomlinson were at the recording studio in New York. Willem Dafoe was...
Wait, who voiced the chick, the redhead chick? I missed that part.
Dafoe was supposed to come in to voice Ironbeard, but the voice of Kate hadn't been decided.
Okay, I see.
John Falkenstein. Willem Dafoe was scheduled to arrive in 30 minutes to record his lines, but they were afraid the bad news about Treasure...
That is insane, dude. Just wait a little bit longer. Wait a little bit longer, get him in, get him comfy, let him do his thing, and then maybe break the news like over lunch or the next day, Just so that we can get a glimpse of what we missed out on, It's honestly a bit of God's mercy that we didn't get to hear anything from there, Because man, that would be heartbroken if we just had like 5 minutes of just listening to Willem Dafoe. Oh my God.
Treasure Planet 2 was on the way. As they sat there nervous...
It's kind of one of those things that's like, I would have rather not heard that, Like, I'm glad I can't hear that because I don't know what I'm missing out on,
The team received a phone call. They called in Falkenstein and they put it on speaker.
Sheesh.
Disney revealed the bad news. Treasure Planet 2 had been canceled. All of the work that they had been busy with for almost the past year had been for nothing.
Disney is like the worst fucking company
broke up
ever,
and
dude. I
began to
swear to
work on
God.
other films or projects.
Morally
It's pretty
and
obvious why the sequel
just
was canceled.
like fucking
Even though people like me and many
media-wise.
others thought it was a great film, it still bombed.
Is there ever an aspect of Disney that's not just awful? Like, really? Like, is there really an aspect of Disney that's just not completely shitty?
Of course, if Disney loses money on something, they're gonna cancel it.
Morally,
It's still such a shame, though. Treasure Planet was
corporately,
great,
I don't even know
it sucks to not see
what the
sequel
word is
ever
there.
truly make it.
Corporate, morally, fucking, like capitalist, ridiculous.
So, as per usual, I've put a poll up in the corner asking whether or not you guys would think this film would have been good or whether or not you would have liked to have seen it.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
for me, hell yeah. It sounds like a ton of fun, just like the
Bro.
first. I could seriously get behind Treasure Planet 2.
Oh,
Also,
God.
usually
William
during this part of the video,
Dafoe.
I go over the Patreon supporters.
As a
but I actually
fucking...
have a quick announcement about this. I'm completely revamping the Patreon. I've removed
Oh.
every tier. Go ahead and watch that.
Good video. Good video. Man, fucking Victorian space pirate voiced by Willem Dafoe, who's given his entire body to piracy, to the fucking hunt for treasure. And then, like, watching those back to back, like, the movies, like, paint a picture in your head. The movie's old, just as Treasure Planet 1 is. Alternate timeline, Treasure Planet 2 came out, Movies are old. You want to go back and reminisce. You watch Treasure Planet 1 and then immediately watch Treasure Planet 2 afterwards. The contrast between seeing a guy... Shut up. Between seeing a guy that has given his limbs, his physical limbs, to an idea and to treasure, and then immediately after seeing a guy, another antagonist, giving his entire body. Oh, God. And then also further instilling the redhead fondness that a lot of kids grew up with. Fucking crazy.